Sound off in the beginning, we ain't losing, we back to winning. Hometown love, been repping from the start. Nothing but niners, red and gold in my heart. And we.
What is going on, faithfuls? This is your boy Nick and your boy Mike over here at Nothing But Niners. And not only do we have our two contestants in here tonight, but we have our round one matchup 6 going at it. They're going neck to neck tonight to see who moves on to round 2. So first, let's introduce our guests, and we'll start with Jeff. Jeff, what's going on, buddy? Tell the faithfuls a little bit about yourself and what's going on, and you know, where they can find you on Twitter and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Well, first off, guys, thanks again for having me on. Nothing But Niners is doing killer stuff. I think everybody in the Niner Twitter world is seeing what you guys are doing. It's very impressive. I love it. So it's a pleasure to be on. If you don't know me, 49er Dynasty for Life on Twitter. You can find me there. It's at franchise55. Longtime 49er fan. Grew up loving this team since I was a kid and really excited to see where we're heading right now.
Sweet, sweet. Kevin, what about you, buddy? Welcome aboard, man. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going? I'm a lifelong Niners fan. I grew up in Northern California. Been living on the East Coast for the last decade or so. In Connecticut these days. You can find me on Twitter at KEVKUGS, which is my name, Kevin Kugelmoss. And yeah, I'm just excited about the changes and see what this squad can do under Shanahan.
Nice. And the last man of the hour, he doesn't need any introduction. My boy, my right-hand man, Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. I'm back outside, man. Happy to be here and join you guys. I missed the last trivia one, so I'm happy to be back with you guys. I'm just hoping that I'm not getting attacked by big bugs and beetles out here again tonight. And hopefully my people out here don't start shooting off fireworks and it interrupts things. If it does, I apologize in advance. But I'm very excited to be here. Best of luck to both Jay and Kevin. I hope you guys have a wonderful time doing this. Thank you guys for the compliments. Thank you guys for checking us out and rocking out with us. And I'm just ready to have some fun, man. Let's do this.
Sounds good.
So Mike, tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about the linebacking core and the defensive backs. So we'll start off with Kevin here. So Kevin, what are your expectations for our linebacking crew this year, and who do you think makes the team, or do you have a surprise cut, and who do you think those starting 2 or 3 guys will be?
Well, despite what some people are saying, I think Bowman's going to come back with a vengeance and be maybe not quite the player he was 3 or 4 years ago before the injuries, but I think he's going to be balling out. I think Reuben Foster was a great addition in the draft, and it sounds like Ahmad Brooks is still holding strong. So I think those are going to be our 3 starters, and Malcolm Smith will be mixed into the rotation. I don't know about surprise cuts. Hard to say. I thought it would be
before Brooks, you get the cuts,
but now it looks like he's probably going to be a starter.
Okay, Mike, go ahead. What are you going to say there, Mike?
I don't know if they were watching last night when we did our roundtable, but Ali asked us a question about what was going to be one of the hardest obstacles to overcome in the first quarter of the season. And my answer, Navarro Bowman is going to have to get used to being a rotational player in the defense instead of a 3-down player. Now, we saw that happen in later years with Patrick Willis. And it seemed like Willis was pretty seamless with it. He didn't mind. Yes, please. But you kind of look at Bowman, and when they asked Navarro Bowman about, you know, how he felt about them drafting Reuben Foster, and did he feel there was any added pressure? And then they said they also brought in Malcolm Smith, and the 3 of you guys are vying for the same position. They said someone's going to be coming off the bench. How do you feel about the competition? And he paused, and he looked at the camera, and he said, it ain't going to be me. I'm not going to be the one coming off the bench. I can tell you that now. I think that's going to be something that we have to keep an eye on. And since we're talking about linebackers, that's why I'm bringing this up, because I think he's healthier, like they're all saying he is. But it doesn't mean that he's as fast as Malcolm Smith, or that he's as fast as Reuben Foster, or he's as instinctive as they are either. I'm not saying that he's not, but I think that's going to be something that's going to be very fun to watch and see how he reacts to that. I don't know if you guys caught any of that, but I want to get your thoughts on it. Imagine Navarro Bowman being unhappy and saying, you know, I should be the one out there starting? What kind of turmoil? Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but how do you think that's going to have an effect on the locker room as well as the fan base if Navarro Bowman, the face of the franchise right now, as far as the players go, is unhappy? Let's throw this one to Jeff, I guess, because Kevin went in there first, and then we can get Jeff's opinion on that. What do you think about that?
Well, I think first off, I was thinking about the comments that John Lynch made the other day about him being a 3-4 linebacker. They've seen what he can do there. Now he's going to have to drop into zone. He's going to have to come up and make plays. And he was interested to see how he could do it. To me, those comments said a lot to me because obviously nothing's going to be given to him. But like you said, I remembered when he said that, he's going to be out on the field. So it will be tricky. But my thought is if we're just talking best for the team, it might be best if he's struggling with the change of direction. We don't know how he's going to come back from the injury. It sounds like everything's great. But it might be a situation where the best thing for the team is he's in there first, second down, maybe replaced on third down. Like you said, they did do it with Patrick. As far as Bowman being a problem, I have a hard time seeing him doing that. Even though he did make that comment, he's just been the consummate pro since the day they drafted him. So, we'd have to see how that plays out. But I wouldn't think he would make waves, to be honest. As long as he's out there. Now, if he wasn't starting at all, then that could be an issue. Then that might be something where that could definitely cause a problem. But I don't see Bowman being an issue as far as, if he has to rotate off the field a little bit, I think that would still work.
Kevin, is there anything that you wanted to add to that?
No, I pretty much agree. I think, it would be an issue if his play really were to suffer, then, and he has that, like you were saying, where he feels like he should be out there. But, if he's playing to the level that that he's played at in the past, I can't see it being an issue because I think he'll be out there.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't agree with Mike last night, as in I don't think that will happen this year. But I do think that with the additions that we have made at linebacker and the amount of money we paid Malcolm Smith, as well as, Reuben Foster going back in the first round to get Reuben Foster, I do think that could possibly be something. And this could be I don't want to say a contract year because we know it's not a contract year because obviously Bowman was signed for a long-term deal. But this could be prove to us that you're going to stay healthy type of year for him. And with this new era in here, they said it before, I don't care who you are or what you've been through, you're going to need to show me now. So that's the only thing that I think that Bowman has going against him is the injuries that he's had over the last 2 years. The knee injury, which really wasn't his fault, obviously. Neither was the Achilles, but he is getting up there in age, and he does have that injury history now behind him for the last 2 or 3 years. So I don't see it happening this year, Mike. I'm still in disagreements with you there, but hey, anything can happen, man. This general manager and head coach and this new staff has impressed me and shocked me by things that they have said and done as it is already. So we'll have to see.
You got to love that they have the depth that we can even be having this conversation. Just guys, think about where we're at. Game 7 or week 17 last year with Galore and Will Hoyt starting. Now we're talking about, I know they got a lot of crap for the Malcolm Smith signing. I really don't mind it. We still got a truckload of cap space. I think I read when we signed him, he was third among outside linebackers last 2 years in tackles, which I know can be kind of a misleading stat at times, but still considering where we're at, if you have a player like that on the bench with that kind of speed, that just says that, we're light years ahead of where we were just 4 months ago. So, I don't mind it.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. We had Nick Bellore, Mr. Stand around turning circles and look where the plate's at. So anything's an upgrade of him, and I'm just happy, like you said, we do have a lot of depth. And Mike, what are your thoughts on the depth? What are you thinking?
This is definitely light years ahead of where it was last year. The fact of the matter is we went from having, like they said, Nick Bellore and Will Hoyt to having Bowman questionably being a rotational player. The fact that, like Jeff said, that's a conversation piece. It's something all on its own. We have the rookie linebacker that we've seen in probably almost a decade coming out of college. We have a former Super Bowl MVP at that position now. We have Navarro Bowman, who led the league
as well.
Yeah, that's right. He led Oakland with tackles. You know what I mean? Like Bowman, who led our team in tackles, who led the league in tackles coming off of his injury. You know,
Yep.
I mean, these are great problems to have. You know what I mean? So I'm not upset or anything like that. I love the depth and everything. I just think that it could potentially be a problem. And I'm not saying that Navarro Bowman's not a leader. I don't want you guys to misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm saying that going to take lightly being sat down. There are certain players that want to be out there all the time, and Bowman is one of them. And I'm saying that I can see him being fired up and saying, no, I want to go back out there, and that just causing a little ruffle in the not that he's going to be disrespecting the coach or anything like that.
Do you think it's going to be situational? Like, what I'm saying is, it's funny because nobody has mentioned Ray Armstrong, and Ray Armstrong before he got hurt was balling out. So, I mean, Ray's quick. He's a turn linebacker from safety. Nobody's really mentioned him. Do we think that our linebacking core can be a situational type linebacking core? What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it going that way, where like different, depending on what packages they're in, they're just subbing guys in and out. It sounded like that's the way they want to do it on the defensive line with keeping guys fresh. So if guys are playing well, you don't want to, you might as well keep the rotation going for the linebackers as well, I think.
Right. And Jeff, what do you think about that? You think that's what it's going to be?
Well, it just depends on how many linebackers they're going to keep. I did like a mock 53-man roster a couple of weeks ago. I left Ray off just because there is so much depth, but I do agree with you that last year, the first couple of games he was in there, he actually surprised me. I know when he came over from Oakland, a lot of Raider fans are talking about how trash his play was for them. So I was really pleasantly surprised by Ray. But I do know that he's not necessarily the smartest player on the field, but he's definitely got the athleticism you look for. So it'll be a numbers game for him because I expect Brock Coyle, he'll make it. He'll be the backup Mike. Dakota Watson's probably going to make it because of his special teams. So I would say it's 50-50 for him. I mean, the good news, again, talking about the depth, if you have somebody go down in training camp, now you don't have to worry about it. So, I mean, all around, I think it's good problems to have.
Let me ask you guys a question. And this is going to be a quick yes or no. If Reuben Foster's healthy, is he playing special teams?
No.
No?
That's a no for me.
Kev, what do you think? No?
He played special teams in college. One of his biggest hits was – and you guys don't think that he's going to do it here?
I don't think he's going to play special teams either. I'm going to have to be in agreement with them. I don't think he plays special team. If he starts this year and playing this year, one factor being his shoulder, they're going to try to limit him to as much contact as possible other than being in the game and not lose him on special teams. That's my feeling on it. But I don't think that he's going to take that roster spot from someone like a Kawan Williams or a Brock Coyle or Dakota Watson or somebody like that they're going to fill in. So, I mean, that's just my opinion.
Sure that Brock Coyle makes this team, if not strictly for special teams purposes. He's not going to outplay Ray Armstrong, Navarro Bowman, Reuben Foster, Smith. Like, he's not going to outplay those guys. And so if someone like Foster is going to play on special teams or Armstrong, it's going to be hard for Coyle to make this roster.
There goes the bug again.
Yeah,
sorry about that. All right, you guys, you go.
My thing with Armstrong though is, can he play the mic? I don't know. But I know he's played Will before, but I know that Coyle can play the mic. So that would be my one thing I would be looking at, is just making sure we have somebody that can back up and play that position. And maybe Armstrong can. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, that was something that we were discussing also. That's good stuff, man. So let me ask you guys, best 3 linebackers combination that you guys can come up with for whatever your reason is. Let's start with Kevin. What do you think? Best 3 linebacker combination that you can put out there?
Well, I think I kind of touched on it before. I think it's Bowman, Foster, and Brooks at this point.
And Brooks, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you agree with that, Jeff?
You know, I'm going to concur with that for now. Brooks is a guy that has surprised me. I mean, I think he surprised all of us year after year. He keeps making the team. I mean, I think we thought he was going to be cut 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I mean, he might be the best guy they have still at Sam. I mean, every guy they bring in, nobody's able to take the job from him. You know, they've drafted a bunch of guys. Lee Meunier was supposed to take his job. He didn't. Eli Harold, we'll see what he does in this new system. But, you know, it sounds like Brooks has been motivated. He was their best pass rusher last year. So, again, I think, you know, he's going to start. You know, they didn't draft a Sam linebacker really high, which I think a lot of us were hoping for. But, you know, you can't fix everything in one day. So, I agree. I think you're talking Bowman at the Mike, Foster at the Will, and then I would leave Brooks at the Sam.
Interesting.
Mike,
Okay,
it's funny because me and Mike were just talking about that the other night, how Ahmad consistently makes this team year after year after year. We all expected him, like you said, to be cut 4 years ago. So it's surprising, though. His numbers are always there. He's good for 5 to 6 sacks a year. He does play under the radar, and it's just he may only be under the radar because he's playing suits of Bowman and Willis, but he does show up in big games. So I'll have to agree right now. I'll have to agree with Bowman, Foster, and Ahmad. But it's just the only thing that kills me is are we going to pay Malcolm Smith that much money to be a bench player?
We have someone chiming in on the text line really quick, too. Dylan Frazier, great follow on Twitter, by the way, guys. He says that, hey, don't forget Ray Armstrong used to play safety as well. His coverage skills at linebacker are incredible. His speed is a must-have on this team.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean,
he also said Bowman, Foster, and Armstrong. So, you know, it's going to be a hit or miss type of thing out here, man. I think, you know, it's definitely going to be hit or miss. And like I said, I really think it's going to come down to packages and situational downs, because the passing downs, I'd rather have Ray out there, or slots or outside runs, stuff like that, over Ahmad. But I mean, guys, it's up in the air, man. I just can't wait for camp to get here to see these battles, because there's going to be a lot of good battles this year, you know.
We got a Bowman, Foster, and Smith recommendation. I mean, the combinations, they're all good. They're all good. The combinations of them all, and you understand exactly why all 3 of these guys would be in there. It all makes sense, so.
Here comes that bug.
I swear to God, it's a dragon. That's huge.
Guys, if you watched last night's,
I'm just hearing the fireworks going off in the background here where I am.
Yeah, last night I couldn't stop laughing. Mike got attacked by a bat almost. It looked like, and it was so funny if you guys watched that video. So, but yeah, guys. So, so we're all in agreement on linebackers, and we have a lot of good depth, and it's going to be a tough decision for these coaches, especially with the team going straight from 90 to 53. Not a lot of people are talking about that. We're not going to be able to stash players on the practice squad. We are going to have to make a huge decision on what's best for this team, and from a quick decision from the 90 to 53, because we're not stashing players like, you know, Ahmad Brooks. Well, Ahmad Brooks ain't available for practice squad anyway, but Ray Armstrongs or people like that, we're either going to cut them and lose them, or we may even end up with somebody that's on another team right now who's a starter on our team. So that's what I'm really interested in seeing, and I think we're all in agreement of that, seeing this linebacking core battle, especially with a high-priced name like Bowman and the franchise leader at that position. So it'll be interesting to see, man. I'm super stoked about watching that. But another good position is like we were saying, is DBs. So What are we going to do with DBs? Does Jimmy Ward truly play safety, or does he stay up as a corner? What are your guys' thoughts on this? We'll start with Jeff on this one.
I think Jimmy's definitely going to start at free safety. If you just look at, what we have there depth-wise, after Jimmy Ward, it's very questionable. And Jimmy's going to have to make the position switch. So that's a big deal too. But it is more natural to what he was doing coming out of college. But, I kind of like that Lorenzo James too. We'll see what he's up to when we get into training camp. Undrafted rookie free agent, so you can't count a lot. But I think that's the main reason that Jimmy has to stay back there, because if it's not Jimmy, I think your only other option would be Tart move to strong safety and then move Reed back to free safety. And I don't think they want to do that. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what Reed can do in this defense as a strong safety, because I think that's going to fit his profile a little bit better than what we've had him do the last couple of years. So, it's one of those things where, and I know that we all do this. I've been thinking a lot about this defense and trying to figure out what are they going to be able to do. I'm trying to keep it realistic. I mean, it was the worst 49er defense I ever saw last year. It was embarrassing. I mean, just week after week after week. And now you're talking defense that's got 6 first-round draft picks probably starting, and some good players to go along with that. And obviously Jimmy Ward would be one of them. And he really played well last year at corner. I think that was kind of an underrated part of last year, is that he did well when he was in there. So I'm going to say that he does start at free safety. How he does, I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen it. I need to see it on the field, but I can't imagine anybody else taking that job right now, just because there's nobody really established that can do it.
Right. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. The only thing that scares me about Ward playing that position is his injuries and coming up with more speed and being able to hit more. But I definitely am in agreement with you on Eric Reed playing in the box. I think this position is going to fit him. I've been saying it. A lot of people are saying on Twitter and Facebook and things like that Eric Reed's done, his injuries, we should just cut him. I think this guy is going to thrive in that position. And I think it's going to be a better suit for him to play there. And I hope that Jimmy Ward works where we're going to use him. But it's still up in the air right now. And like you said, you got Lorenzo Jerome coming in. You got you have Tart, which I really like Tart. I really want to see more of him. But Mike, what are your thoughts? Or we can go to Kevin.
No, yeah, I want to get Kevin's opinion on it before I chime in. So let's see what Kevin's got to say about the safeties, or the DBs in general, not just the safeties.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what the safeties have to bring. I didn't see too much of Ward play in college when he was a safety, but he's been a kind of an underrated aspect of the defense the last couple of years, and I think Reed being up there in the box, hitting people is where he needs to be. I mean, back in Fangio's system, where he was technically a free safety, he was basically, doing the things that he's going to be asked to do in this system. So I'm excited about that, and I think our corners are actually pretty good. I know that Witherspoon, a lot of people like him, their draft pick this year, and what I saw out of Robinson last year was pretty awesome, and I'm hoping that he can take that next step. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with this group.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm a little nervous about Jimmy Ward moving back to safety. I felt like Jimmy Ward was one of our better guys in coverage, but seeing him move back to safety, it'll be a little experiment, right? But that can kind of be said with everybody and with everything. So I think Eric Reed was made for the position that they're moving him to, this box safety. I think he's going to thrive in that position. As far as corners go, I really, really like Rashard Robinson. I think that he has what it takes to be a corner one, but I do get worried when I see him going up against another bigger receiver. Seems like those guys kind of push him around, and I'm a little skeptic about that. we'll see what happens, you know. And I'm looking at the comments here on the live Twitter feed, and Matt Llewellyn had a really good point. So you can hide a lot of the deficiencies and the inexperience in our secondary with the good front seven, you know. And that's what it's going to come down to. If those guys can generate some pressure back there, all of a sudden that secondary is going to look much better than what they actually are. You think back to the 2011 season when the Niners had such a good pass rush with the 3 down linemen and the 1 outside linebacker. Those 4 guys were generating so much pass rush that people thought Carlos Rogers was actually a good corner again.
Yep.
Those are the things that happen when you have a solid, consistent pass rush. And so I think that we're going to be fooled a little bit. I think that they're going to overperform based off of what they should be doing, but I'm never going to complain about that. So I'm really excited to see the DBs overall.
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, the only thing that worries me about Akello is his physicality at the line of scrimmage. And he even said himself in an interview that he has to get more physical and more aggressive at the line of scrimmage, and he's not used to that, as well as him being really, really skinny or small compared to some of these DBs in the NFL. I think it may take him a year or two to get up to NFL size and speed, as well as that physicality. But I do like this kid coming out of college. I think he has a lot of potential. Rashard Robinson's just a dog. He's just gonna continue to get better and better. And I really think that we haven't seen a lot, and I'm really, really excited to see this kid this year is Will Redmond in the slot.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited to see what this kid has finally, as well as I'm really wanting to see Dante Johnson perform outside too, because Dante Johnson is a bigger type corner. He's physical, and he hasn't really had the opportunity to play as much he started getting the opportunity and then he got injured, which stinks for him. But I'm looking forward to him doing some things this year as well. And a lot of people haven't talked about Will Redmond, so because we haven't seen anything. You know, he was a bulky project and he was going to be ready for the season, but then all of a sudden they just shut him down. So we don't really know what we're going to get. I asked Joe Fan that when he was on our podcast, and he said that, you know, Will is Will. He's a physical guy. He's, you know, very jokative and stuff like that. So I want to see the football side of this kid and see what he has as well. And that's in the DB section, like Will Redmond's somebody who I want to watch out for this year. So,
and not for nothing, I think when it comes down to playmaking ability, I think we're all going to have to keep our eyes out for Adrian Colbert. That guy is just what he does. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about it. You know what I mean? It's just who he is. It's what he does. And so he's got the speed out there for it. Very, very fun to watch. And the other playmaker that's in the secondary is the one that John Lynch was just recently talking about. Nick, what's his name? I'm having a brain fart. He led the team in preseason interceptions. He played in the Senior Bowl.
You're talking about Lorenzo.
Lorenzo Jerome.
Yeah.
Jerome. Yeah.
Lorenzo Jerome, natural playmaker. Doesn't have the speed or anything like that, but his instincts are there. And he had a ton of picks career. He went to the Senior Bowl, had 2 more, went to a different all-star team, had another one, and a forced fumble. And then you hear John Lynch just this past weekend talking about how he led the team in not preseason, and camp interceptions and stuff. Not many camp, but you know what I'm talking about. OTAs.
Yeah. Even compared him to Rondé Barber, even, which was surprising. I mean, that's a big comparison for a rookie.
Yeah. Somebody that played.
Yeah, I mean, so some people just naturally have the instincts that defy their physical limitations. And he could very well be one of those guys. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens. And if he is that guy, maybe he'll allow us to be able, if he's instinctive the way he's being portrayed, maybe he'll allow us to move Jimmy Ward back to corner if necessary. You know, so it'll be very interesting to see how they move these people around, and if this team is really going to do what they're saying they're doing, which is we're going to look at what their skill set is and we're going to plug them into those places and let them go out and just play naturally. then the team could look completely different than how anyone else expects.
I agree. I mean, for all we know, this could be the makings of the next great 49er secondary. I mean, it really could be. And it may not be. But, I mean, the potential is there. So, I mean, I can't wait to see how this pans out.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. I think that this could be the next best 49ers secondary. But I also think that, like we talked about earlier, I think it's going to be complemented on this front seven. I think our front seven is going to be drastically different this year. Whether it be, because of the physicality part of it, with Robert Saleh saying that, basically kick ass and take names kind of play. So it's going to be really aggressive. They're going to be hitting you. And I think that, and I said this before, I think this defense goes up probably this year to maybe a top 15 defense. I think they're going to have fire under their ass basically, and they're going to be, ready to go. And especially with all the competition, people are going to be coming out bowling just because of the competition. I mean, there's a ton of competition that's going to go on this defensive side of the ball.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy with the difference between last year and this year. I mean, in all my years as a Niner fan, I've never seen this big of a change in 4 months, ever.
Right.
I mean, last year was so depressing, and just look at where we're at now. It's crazy. Everybody's excited, and as well we should be, I think.
Yeah. Kevin, you got any last says on that, Kev?
Yeah, what Jeff just said. I mean, like when they went from when Harbaugh came aboard, like it was pretty much the same team. They made a few moves to kind of solidify that team, but it was like he was taking that talent, and it was like, okay, yeah, now we're ready to roll. This is like a total turnaround. Like we've just been so bad the past couple of years, and it's like a whole change in culture and everything. But I think this group of DBs is definitely, like, talent-wise as good as we've had in a while.
Yeah, what do you think, Mike?
It's undeniable, man. This entire team is going to be just drastically different. I mean, the team showed some potential. Maybe they were overshooting early in the first half of a lot of games last year. The defense in particular, they fought, but it seemed like one thing went wrong and they just crumbled. It seemed like as soon as one small little thing didn't go their way, they were ready to pack it up and just go home. No one seemed motivated at all. They were playing just for the checks. You could tell there was no pride in anything that they were doing. And, I attribute a lot of that to the coaching staff. How the coaches didn't focus on the mistakes, and it was just, this is what you have to do. Just try that. And then you look at Robert Saleh, and he's charting what they're calling loafs, and this is every time you hit the ground and you don't get back up and you hustle back to the play. That shit is done.
Yep.
The level of accountability is going from 0 to literally 100 this year. And it's not just going to be the coaches holding these players accountable. It's going to be the players holding each other accountable. And that's something that we just flat out did not see or have last year. So it's going to be a night and day difference. Like you guys said, we went from the worst 49ers defense we have seen in a very long time to easily, in my opinion, the middle of the pack. I'm projecting this to be at least 15 or higher as far as defensive ranking this year, just because of the motivation factor and the weapons that we've added so far this offseason. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. I think the competition is going to be good for our team, as well as, Joe Staley saying, this is the first time in a long time that I've come to work, and I enjoy coming to work. I'm just happy to be playing football again, and not meaning be there to play football, but the type of atmosphere that is in that locker room. And you expect players to say that stuff on their videos and, interviews and stuff like that. But I truly believe Joe Staley when he talks like that, because he doesn't normally talk like that. And I think the team is super excited this year. And I think I've said it before, man, I think they're going to surprise the hell out of a lot of people this year. Everybody's looking for all this roster turnover that the Niners are going to finish, 4 games, 4.5 games, whatever it is for the betting. But yeah, man, I'm super excited, as well as every other faithful should be. So, I mean, that's what you guys get, So we'll see what happens, man.
Absolutely. I mean, we have another person here who's been writing a lot of messages. There's two of them I want to read, and one is from the Chosen One, and he says competition is a really good problem to have. And we have that all across the board in all three levels of the secondary. There's going to be some defensive linemen that are going to get cut that are going to make us shiver. Like, I can't believe we let him go.
Yep.
He's going to get cut. It's a fact.
Agree.
You know, Quentin Dial, who I know we're not talking about the linemen, but that's going to happen there. That's going to happen with the linebackers, and it's definitely going to happen in the secondary. It's a great problem to have, and we're far ways away from where we were before. And the other one that I wanted to read, LaFave, it says, sorry, I still think our defense will be in the top 10. Just shows the level of optimism. The fact that so far all that's happened is just a couple of acquisitions, a new staff, and the entire mindset is completely different, not just within the locker room, but the fans. These are the same fans that were ready to say, you know what, we suck, I'll just watch and see what happens. Now people are re-energized, and it's an infectious feeling that's going on throughout the fan base as well as the team. I can't wait for the season, man.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And I'm completely excited. So. But
all right, is it time for trivia?
Yeah, you guys ready for trivia, man?
Let's do it.
I think we've held you guys long enough, so I think Nick is going to kick us off. You got the practice question there. We make sure we get everything going right.
Yeah, before we do that, let me just get your guys' record prediction for this year. So we'll go with Jeff first. I've been doing this with every contestant. I just want to see what everybody's thinking. So
that's a tough one. I'll have a better prediction, I think, once I see everything in training camp and preseason. But I am pretty optimistic. To go from 2 wins to 8, I think is a little too much, although I think it's possible if everything breaks right. But I'm in that 6-win, 7-win. I hope it's more. I'm trying to keep my expectations down because honestly, I could go higher than that. But right now, I'm going to keep it at 6 and see how everything goes.
Okay, so 6 and 10. Kevin, what do you think, bud?
Well, I think I'm going with 5 and 11. I'm optimistic. I'd love to see them, really shoot above that, but I just don't see, enough on the offense at this point, especially quarterback position. And I think for their long-term growth, it's probably better for them to be like 4, 5, 6-win team, have a higher draft pick and all that, than to overachieve and either miss the playoffs or get blown out in the first round.
Okay. So that's not bad, guys. That's being realistic. That's not being, we haven't seen anything. And like I said, we could come out and hear all this good stories from the beat writers and see what they look like in preseason, and that could change. That could go up or it could go down. So that's a good thing. We have a lot of optimistic fans out there this year. I know a lot of people aren't sold on Brian Hoyer. I personally think that Brian Hoyer is going to surprise the hell out of a lot of people. And if you guys read that comparison article, I guess Grant Cohn put out, we're actually going to, talk about that as well. But check it out. I mean, it's a good piece, and just look at that comparison that he put out there because I think Brian Hoyer is going to surprise the hell out of a lot of people. So,
who's he comparing Hoyer to?
Just all the NFL quarterbacks in the last 17 starts.
Okay.
Yeah, he took the last 17 starts for every NFL quarterback and just where they rank based off of their stats. It was a very, very bland, didn't take into account the opponents or anything, just the last 17 starts.
Yeah, so
completion percentage, overall passer rating, and Brian Hoyer was surprisingly not as bad as we would think he is based off of his reputation. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
That is interesting. Yeah. I saw a tweet the other day, and I'm sorry I can't credit to whoever did this. I did retweet it, but that Hoyer was 16 and 15 in his last 31 starts, and those same teams are like 12 and 37 when he doesn't start. I don't know if you guys saw that same tweet. And that really showed me something that, here he is on, teams that are really bad when he's not starting to have above 500 record. That's kind of impressive. So let's hope so. I hope you're right, Nick. I hope he has a great season.
Yeah, I think his reputation has been destroyed by injury. And that's because of bad offensive lines that he has played with. So we'll see.
Injury and then the few turnovers that he makes are just at the worst possible times for it to happen. I mean, Same thing has happened with Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Tony Romo's stats stack up against a lot of really good quarterbacks, but the turnovers happen at just the worst times. The injuries happen at the worst time. So that's not saying Brian Hoyer's on Tony Romo's level at all, but I'm just drawing that comparison. And for further discussion, just so you guys know, and for anyone who's watching live now, we will have Grant Cohn on tomorrow, and we're going to discuss the article that he had. So you guys keep your eyes open for that. Eastern. We're trying to decide if we're going to do a live video like we're doing now, or if we're just going to do a podcast and drop it later. So, but either way, it's happening at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, sweet. All right. So you guys got your markers, your pens, whatever you're writing with, and your papers ready. I'm just going to explain the rules real quick. You have 10 seconds to answer the question. We'll ask you 5 questions. The questions will range from easy, medium to hard. Not going to tell you what order they're in. Once you answer your question, just hold up the piece of paper with the answer facing towards you. We will call on your name to show the camera what your answer is. If you're right, we'll tell you you're right after each contestant has answered. And then we'll go on through 1 through 5 of the questions, and we'll move on. Everybody's ready?
All right.
Yep.
All right. So we'll start off with a practice question, and I'll lead it off with a practice question, and when you are ready, just say yes, and we will go ahead for that.
All right. So we're holding them up as soon as we answer. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, just hold it up once you're done answering.
You want to hold it up backwards so that you're not showing your camera. You're going to, so that you see it, and then we're going to ask you to turn them over afterwards.
Right.
Sounds good.
Right. So,
All
right. Here we go. So, practice question. In his 4 Super Bowls, Joe Montana completed 83 of 122 passes for 1,142 yards and 11 touchdowns. With how many interceptions? All right, Jeff's got his answer. Kevin's got his answer. So go ahead and Jeff, why don't you go ahead and show us your answer? All right. Jeff's got 0. And Kevin? Kevin also has 0. Those answers are correct, guys. Good job.
The GOAT.
Yes,
QB
sir.
GOAT.
So, all right. So question number 1, Mike, you ready?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me, right?
Yep, we got you.
All right, just got to plug in my laptop. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Which team did the 49ers play in 2 Super Bowl appearances?
All right, Jeff's got his answer, and Kevin's got his answer.
All right, we're going to start with Kevin this time. Who you got? The Bengals. All right. Jeff, who do you have? Right, man. Good job, gentlemen. The correct answer is definitely the Cincinnati Bengals. Good job.
Great job, guys. Great job. All right. Question number 2. In which year did legendary quarterback Steve Young start his first game instead of quarterback Joe Montana?
Oof.
Jeff's got his answer.
Oh, man, it's flying. He's ready, huh? Okay. I like
He's
this.
quick drawing. Quick drawing.
Here we go. All right, Jeff, let's see what you got.
1988.
1988. Kevin?
I wasn't sure about this one.
1990.
All right, guys. Well, 1988 is close, but it is incorrect. 1990 is also incorrect. The correct answer is 1987. So Young started playing in the 87 season after he was traded from Tampa Bay, while an injury-plagued Joe Montana was sidelined. That season, he played in 8 games and started 3 of them. First on November 15th against the New Orleans Saints. From then on, the quarterback controversy was wide open.
Yeah, I knew he played in 87. For some reason, I thought his first start was in 88.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Close, man.
That's close. Hey, that's all right. We're still tied 1-1, guys. So Mike's going to follow up with question number 3.
All right, here we go. Jerry Rice, who left the 49ers as their all-time leading scorer, had how many touchdowns as a 49er? How many touchdowns did Jerry Rice have as a 49er? Let me just tell you guys now, the answer is a killer. That's a joke. I'll tell you why I said that later. All right, Kevin, we'll start with you, bud.
I think I'm one off.
180. Oh, he looks like he got my joke. Okay, 188.
I did get the joke.
Jeff, what do you have?
188.
Yep.
God dang it, you guys are so close. 187. Nick, I want to give him half credit, but it would still be a tie. So there's no point.
Yeah.
I should have got that one.
187. I didn't think you guys were going to get my joke. That's good. I'm glad I'm not goofy.
187. Damn. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Nick, ready for the next one, man?
No problem. All right. 49er Roger Craig, 1983 to 1990, retired with how many rushing touchdowns? Rushing touchdowns.
Total guess here.
All right, Jeff has it.
Total guess here too.
Kevin has it. We're gonna go with Kevin first. Kevin, what you got? 3. All right, and Jeff.
Oh, we almost guessed the exact same.
54. Man, you guys are so close, but no cigar. The correct answer is 50.
Ooh.
50.
Yo, you guys, I know you guys haven't, what is it, one answer right so far each, but you guys are close to shit, man. Like if this was horseshoes, you guys would be winning. I swear to God, you guys would be winning. You guys are doing a hell of a job, man. All right, here we go. Maybe you guys will get this one, all right? What week did Alex Smith get injured and as a result lose his job to quarterback Colin Kaepernick? What week was that?
Jeff's got his answer. Kevin's got his answer.
All right, we're going to start with Jeff.
All right, I'm hoping this is right. I know it was right in the middle of the season, but I want to say it was week 7.
Week 7. All right, Kevin, what you got?
I put week 10.
Oh, shit. Guess what? One of you guys are right. That was the final question. Was Kevin.
Yes.
Week 10
Nice.
against the Rams. He was knocked out. The game went to overtime. Colin
that awful overtime game.
Oh, yeah.
Tied. Oh my God! I told you, man. Horseshoes and grenades. You guys are killing it. You guys are killing it.
Man, that was a close one there, guys.
Yeah.
Well done,
man.
Kevin. Well done.
You were a valiant opponent. That was a tough one.
Oh man, you earned that one. That was a tough one.
Yeah, guys, that was awesome. You guys were like right there on everything, man. Skin and teeth on every question. That's what makes 49ers trivia so good, man. You guys are definitely faithfuls, man, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So,
listen, guys, we want to thank you both for participating. You did a hell of a job. Congrats to advancing to the next round, Kevin.
Thank you.
Working with you. Both of you guys have an extended invitation to join us on a podcast. We're going to start up the Faithful series soon, where we're going to have fans coming in and joining us for a full episode if they'd like to. So that invitation is extended to you guys. You guys are awesome and great. Would love to have you back again. Nick, is there anything else you wanted to do, man?
hey, man, like I said before, I really appreciate you guys, following us and giving us that support, as well as joining us today, man. And the season is going to be very, very good and great to watch. So, and like Mike said, it would be a pleasure to have you guys back on for a pod for our Faithful series editions. And, you know, don't hesitate if you ever want to call in when we're live or whatever like that as well. If you want to chime in, you're always more than welcome. If you have a topic of discussion or something like that, hit us up. We're open to all the fan base. You guys can follow us. Everybody can follow us at Nothing But Nine ERS on Twitter, Nothing But Niners on Facebook group. You can also look at nothingbutniners.com. Got a lot of good articles and writers there for that as well as Nothing But Nine ERS on Snapchat. What? We're on Snapchat?
What?
So, yeah, guys, man, once again, it was a pleasure. You know, if you haven't followed us yet, make sure you go and hit that subscribe button on YouTube, as well as on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn. We're everywhere, guys. But I'm going to end this like I always do. And above all else, stay faithful. We out.
Yep.
Right on, guys.
Thanks.
Stay